Fire them up. That's what we do here at the Andrew Gosser Show. We fire them up on 1039 WYAB. Yep, we're moving and grooving. We're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on Facebook. And we're streaming at the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up our radio signal, the largest radio signal for talk radio in Mississippi, with over 500,000 people tuning in, like, share, and subscribe to the stream. We'd appreciate that. You can also follow me on X at Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. I'd appreciate that. I try to relink all of my sources for the stories that I cover right there, so you can trust me when I tell you something, but you can also verify. Trust but verify. Trust but verify. If you want to be part of the program today, the number is 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show, yep, it's standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. Yep. And gentle answer turns away wrath. Harsh word incites anger. Try to be soft-spoken and try not to be incendiary, but I'm not going to not tell the truth. And I've got to ask you all, as I was doing the show prep today, lots of things came across my feed, but I wanted to know, who is provoking the violence in the West? Is it the political left or the political right? I mean, really think about it. Who is provoking violence, inciting riots, using federal dollars through USAID to fund NGOs? Is it a left-wing thing? Is it a right-wing thing? To be truthful, I think there's some right-wing NGOs out there that are somehow slipping through the cracks. Allegedly, there might be some senators and congressmen who have some NGOs who are on the Republican side who want to keep that gravy train running. But one thing is certain, that the world is becoming more and more polarized, ladies and gentlemen. And I see it, and I feel it. I want to say shout out to Clay Edwards. Thank you for having me on today. I know I talked for all of about 4 minutes that conversation, but I found it fascinating. And it just goes back to the 7 pillars of society and how the left over the past 60 years has effectively taken every one of them out. And only now are we just realizing how much trouble we are truly in. When you have elected officials opening calling for civil war, when you have conservative commentators being shot and killed and then having comics make fun of it, even recently, they always want to talk about they're the tolerant ones, that they're the accepting ones, that they're the forgiving ones. They're the violent extremists. You know, everybody loves humor. And I don't know who wrote this, but I want you to listen to this. And this is going to be offensive to some. And if you're offended, then that's good, because you're offended just like me. There are sick people out there, disgusting people out there. I don't know who this guy is, but he's at some left-wing gala, and this is the joke he decides to tell. Oh, hold on one second. Let me make sure that I've got the button turned up here. This is the joke he decides to tell.
Tony reminds me of Charlie Kirk, in that he's definitely been on camera letting a guy unload in his throat.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the laughs in the background? The guy's comic's name is Pete Davidson, mocking the death of Charlie Kirk with a sick joke. I want you to listen to it again, because all you Democrats out there who are saying you're the party of tolerance, love, peace.
Tony reminds me of Charlie Kirk, in that he's definitely been on camera letting a guy unload in his throat.
Who thinks that's funny? I reposted it on X. I didn't heart it or anything like that. That's coming from the libs of TikTok. This should be leading every major news organization right now and saying how screwed up this guy is. This guy should never get in front of a camera again. He should have his ability to get on a platform, but there's nobody in their right mind who should do anything to give him any airtime. And that's from Libs of TikTok via Terrible. And I knew Charlie. Some people got to know him. I got to know him a little bit right in the beginning. And when I see people going after my friend like that, I get ticked off. What makes Pete Davidson think that this is okay behavior in 2026? God forbid a left-wing politician gets assassinated. Could you imagine a right-wing comic doing something like that? You know, Clay and Daryl and I were talking about how they got rid of rock. I think that was just a side effect of it all. I think it's how they got rid of Christianity or tried to. Rock and roll has been around since the late 50s, if you really wanna go back all the way, the very first little bit of it. And it's been around about, what, 65 years? Christianity's been around a lot longer. But if you do not think that our society is being targeted and weakened by the political left, you're kidding yourself. Well, Andy, that's just a sick comedian. He's not calling for or he's not the only one, or he's the only guy out there calling for violence. Listen to this.
But you know, Reverend, this is equivalent to a second civil war. We're going to have to get our act together. As everybody's saying, we're going to have to resist with every fiber in our body. We're going to have to take this system on at every election.
That is Mississippi's 2nd District Congressional Congressman, Benny Thompson. And he's wagging his finger. He's wagging his finger at all of us. We have our victories through the political process and through the courts, as much as the courts are stacked against us. The left has to go out and promote violence. This is Mr. J6 chairman himself, Benny Thompson. The one who destroyed all the J6 evidence after the investigation. Didn't preserve the records. Oh no, don't have to preserve the records. Where are we? I try to find the good stuff, man, and I'm a positive guy. You talk to my friends and family, they'll tell you I'm the most positive guy there is. I have true joy. Not always happy, but I have true joy. And I see stuff like this, and I am absolutely incensed. Incensed. But as mad as I am about the left doing stuff, I'm just as mad at the news media for refusing to cover the reality that's on the ground, whether that be in the United States, whether that be in the UK or Europe, Israel, or the Iranian war. You know, everybody's so upset about the Iranian war. The only reason I almost cussed. The only reason that we're upset is because of gas prices. That is the only reason. Everybody who liked to enjoy the lower gas prices and didn't know what was going on in Iran and what they were doing, that is foolish and it's fake. I want lower gas prices. It's okay that we go ahead and harvest women like cattle. I want lower gas prices. It's okay if we pay off cartels. I want lower gas prices. It's okay if we sponsor statewide terrorism. These are the same yahoos that are claiming for the Green New Deal. We are getting the Green New Deal right now. You are enjoying the fruits of the Green New Deal labor. How's it feel? The worst part about it is that if the West would simply come together and unite, we could bust the cartel, we could lower gas prices, and we would be running right along. But we can't do that. The UK's got to skim its $2 to $3 a barrel off the top. OPEC's got to stay in control. We can't build new refineries because of the Green New Deal. Green New Deal. We can't build new tankers in the United States because it's too expensive, and therefore we fall under the Smith Act, and we can't move around our own natural gas and oil inside the United States over water. We have to truck it all. Makes no sense. To put in systems in place like this take decades and decades to set up. Some would even argue centuries. The people who were planning this out in the 60s and 70s couldn't have had any idea about the internet. Couldn't have any idea about how technology would evolve. Starlink. Who would have thought that NASA is now second place to SpaceX back in 1960? They didn't even know what SpaceX was. I'm not even sure Elon was even walking around yet in South Africa. By the way, Elon Musk is a true African American, unlike some of these people running around here. I am so upset, but as much as I'm upset with the leftists, the militant left, I'm even more upset with the conservative right. I am so upset with the conservative right. We should be doing so much more. And we should be setting the stage for the rest of the United States of America. When we get back, we got a story in the Magnolia Tribune about the Ethics Committee, what's going on there. And I've got the spread of jihad in the United States. We're going to talk about that. And why can't we get any legislation through the Mississippi State House? I don't know. I'm not here to throw stones and break glass. I'm just here asking the questions. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
And guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson or at DaviniEquipment.com. Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Efficient and trouble-free payroll processing is crucial to a business's success, and a lot of businesses are struggling with it. PeopleLease, a local payroll provider, not only offers top-of-the-line software, but also provides on-demand payroll support services. With PeopleLease, you're never on your own at every step of your payroll process. PeopleLease has the expertise in managing payroll challenges and will work hard to understand your business and employees. That's what makes PeopleLease the perfect choice for you and your business. Learn more online at peoplelease.com.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection. I've been selling real estate now for well over 30 years, and I typically use Chadwick Home Inspectors. And Chad has done many home inspections for me.
They are pretty much from roof to foundation. Most people are surprised at just how thorough these home inspections can be. Been working with Rita almost a decade now. Very rarely does she let a deal fall apart. She can usually find a way to negotiate where both parties are satisfied.
RitaJensen.net.
The best investment on earth is earth. This is real estate agent Shane Saxton. As I like to say, the government can print more money, but they can't print more land. In the past 2 years, I've sold over $100 million in real estate. Call me today to get your land and home sold, because Saxton Sales isn't just a slogan. It's backed up by hundreds of satisfied clients just like you.
Find one of Mississippi's top real estate agent, Shane Saxton, on Facebook, or call Shane at 601-540-5040. Hopper Property, 601-724-1435.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the dulcet tones of the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. If you want to be part of the program today, the number 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And you know what? Let's do a segment sponsor here. Beethoven's Boardwalk. Yep, Chip's Restaurant there. They've got blue plate specials. They're right out there on the res. Beautiful views. They're all out there. And today, they got a blue plate special. Fried grilled pork chops, chicken and dumplings, and hamburger steak with mashed potatoes. That sounds pretty yummy to me. I'll tell you what, I always appreciate the sponsors here at WYAB, especially in this time, in this economy, where we have people building businesses, building jobs here in Mississippi, local jobs. Go out and check out Beethoven's. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to actually go there on Sunday for their Sunday buffet after church. Thanks for Chip for doing all you do for the station. We appreciate it. Getting back to this. So I was talking about how I'm disappointed in the Republicans. Now, we had on the GOP chairman of Carver County, Minnesota, talking about Ilhan Omar, however the heck you say her silly name, and how they're begging for her to be investigated. The other committee in Congress won't investigate her. She's been implicated in the Somali fraud scandal. At least $18 billion just in Minneapolis or Minnesota alone. Lord only knows how much nationwide. I'm saying it's over $1 trillion. House Ethics Chairman Guest, Ranking Member DeSaulner, give update on Corey Mills' investigation. This is coming from Frank Corder and the Magnolia Tribune. They always do great work. And I'm just going to read the first paragraph here. U.S. House Committee on Ethics Chairman, or U.S. House Committee on Ethics Chairman Michael Guest, Mississippi's 3rd District Congressman, and Ranking Member Mark DeSaulner, Democrat from California, released a statement on Monday regarding the investigation into alleged campaign finance violations, domestic assault, and dating violence by Florida Congressman Corey Mills. That's all serious stuff. And I know Corey's a Green Beret. I know that when President Trump was the attempted assassination on President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Corey Mills was one of the first congressmen out there by himself using his expertise. And I find it interesting that the political classes decided to gang up on Corey Mills. Now, what he's accused of is serious stuff: campaign finance violations, domestic assault, dating violence. That's all serious stuff that needs to be investigated. But can we walk, chew bubblegum, tap our head, and rub our bellies at the same time? Maybe skip if you're a fast learner. Why is it that we always go so hard on our own people, but we let the other side off the hook? We do. The Republican Party, and look, I want to believe, and I'm part of the Republican Party. I openly admit it, and I agree. Think that the Republican Party has the values that I espouse to. Do they always do it? No, but that's where my base is at. That's where I'm starting at. You know, that's where I'm starting at. So when I see stuff like this, I get really upset. What has Congressman Guest done to get some of these fraudsters just under an ethics investigation? What does a congressman have to do? I mean, obviously stealing stocks or trading, insider trading of stocks, Pelosi and company. I mean, there's an app out there that follows Nancy Pelosi's stock trades, and it's better than the S&P. It's ridiculous, and we can't have any investigations. We can't do anything. We look at, you know, hey, we busted our butts to get Trump in there, and the whole system works against him. Exhibit 1, Department of Justice. Everybody, I get more complaints and comments about, Andy, you complain about the Epstein files more than anybody. That's because I'm in touch with the base more than most people. And people can overlook a lot of crap, but they can't look over the pedophiles. And the DOJ is just allowing it to get away. I realize that President Trump doesn't have the same opinion I have, and that's okay. Notice I'm not sitting out there trashing our president at every turn. I'm supporting him. But when I disagree with him, I do so in a way that makes it to where if it gets to one of his advisors saying, hey, this talk show host out of Mississippi who's kind of complaining about the Epstein files, let me go listen to him. They're going to say, hey, you know what? This guy actually is making some sense. Just like most of us are making sense. But you know who's not making sense? The conservatives. Well, let me just say that the Republicans. You know, I just opened up X. And who is it? Shad White calling for redistricting. Who else besides Shad White, statewide representative, elected official, has called for redistricting? I don't know if there has been one. I'm not saying, when I looked, I couldn't find anybody besides Shad. I know that Colonel Manis down on the coast has called for redistricting. I know that I've called for redistricting. I don't know if anybody else on WYAB has called for redistricting. I know that many of my conservative friends have called for redistricting. It's disgusting to me. We sit there and we crow and we talk about how great we are and all the great stuff we do, and then we don't do anything. And there's a storm that's coming. A big storm. You know, the feedback gets back to me, Andy. You know, you talk about Operation Mockingbird a little bit, and that makes people kind of nervous. I talk about Operation Mockingbird from a factual point of view. I know it. I've read the documents, CIA documents, not made up. You can go Google it yourself. You can go ahead and download it yourself. You can learn all about it. It's not some crazy UFO conspiracy. Oh, wait, UFOs aren't a conspiracy anymore? We just call them UAPs, whatever the heck that means. I still call it a UFO. the news media has been manipulated in a way that unless you carefully tailor your algorithm on your news preparation sites, you're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. You are not going to get the real news. You are not going to get factual data. And you're not going to get stuff like Zorhan Mandami's intern, Arzu Malik. Listen to what Miss Arzu Malik has to say. And you tell me if we're not at war inside the United States of America right now.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the conversation of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended, I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And
so what if a conservative intern said something like that? I gotta do what I gotta do. Inciting violence. Talking about, well, we don't have jihad, but we don't even talk about civil war. Only Benny Thompson talks about second civil war. Look, I come strapped. Andy, you're bringing a gun into the... No, I'm not. I'm bringing in GBU 12s, laser guided bombs, a little bit dated, still more accurate than your gun, politically speaking. Listen to what this girl is about to say. She's an intern for Zorhan Mandami in New York.
I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. Just a question. We don't want to get doxxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested. How gangsta are you? That's just my question. How
gangsta are you? Gangsta. Easy-E. I am absolutely, completely dumbfounded by our news media and our conservative Republican politicians. And I'm not trying to bash on Tate. I'm not trying to bash on Delbert. I'm not trying to bash on Roger or Miss Cindy. I'm not trying to bash on any of them. I'm just saying, what's your statement? You know, we had state reps of all different flavors of Republican propose anti-Islamic law, Sharia law bills that died in Mississippi. And I'm going to fight this because I'm one of the few people who's actually seen Sharia law in practice in Afghanistan. And, you know, there's this protest coming up that Bring the Smoke protest on May 20th. I'm telling you this, America is not ready for the smoke that these people are going to bring to America. You are not prepared. They're radicalizing up. They're getting worked up.
How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day, that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this? To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause? And
do you see what they're building up over there? This is like crap they teach you in boot camp and officer training school. To be a part of a team, to be a part of something bigger than just yourself. Self-sacrifice. Integrity first. Service before self. Excellence in all we do. Honor, courage, commitment. Andy, don't say the core values of the U.S. military with this lady. I'm not saying that they espouse the same core values, but they sure do espouse the same work beliefs. This is in New York. One nonstop flight away from Jackson. Or an Amtrak ride. Or a Greyhound bus. Let's finish this up here.
SubhanAllah, I truly believe that when your heart is in the right place, if you get suspended, if you get doxxed, because it's bound to happen when you're doing a righteous cause and when you're doing something for the sake of Allah here in the West, it will never ever be in vain. And the true believer does not fear that, because the true believer knows that the akhirah is a promise.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Zorhan Mandami's intern, Arzu Malik, calling for a holy war, a jihad, and martyrdom. This is jihad. This is ibadah. ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to sit here and scare you. I'm not trying to sit here and get you mad. I'm not sitting here trying to blow smoke up your rear end. What I'm here trying to tell you is that the wolf is at the door. And we need real leadership here in Mississippi. We need to lead the way on this. We have the potential to lead the way on this. We talked about Texas the other day. The Leering Center that sponsored a Muslim-only water park event. Women had to be in full burqas at the water park. Make it make sense. I don't understand where elected Republicans are on this. But if you want to know, there is an event coming up, the Hinds County Republican Women's Event, May 18th, 11:30 lunch at GOP headquarters. Mike Hurst is going to be the guest speaker. I always like promoting Republican events. I always say to be respectful. Don't be a Democrat. But ask the hard questions. Man, when I was elected, I relished it. I never feared it. People said that's why your career only lasted 7 years. Well, hey, I made it last 7 years. I could have ran again. I decided not to. This is the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
.9 WYAB.
Fox News commentary with Laura Ingraham next.
You're probably listening to this in your car, so let me ask you, would you drive without insurance? Of course not. So why is your retirement portfolio unprotected? Gold is portfolio insurance. It helps de-risk your savings when markets get unpredictable. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of Americans do exactly that with no high-pressure sales and thousands of 5-star reviews. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decisions.
Here's Laura Ingraham.
A decade since he left office, Obama seems to think that the only way to beat Trump and MAGA is to go full socialist.
We're on off the air right now.
Right, I just wanted to tell you I love you,
liberalism,
and I pray that the Lord continue to bless you and please keep your work up, okay?
Failed in St. Louis, failed in Los Angeles,
okay, you take good
San
care. I just
Francisco,
wanted to let you
in
know,
Oakland,
okay?
in
doing all right, brother?
Portland, in Seattle.
I'm doing well, thank God.
But the red states,
man,
they're booming.
I'll keep you in my prayers.
Their
Thanks for checking in.
population's increasing.
All right,
Donald
brother.
Trump remains the most powerful force in politics, not just here in the U.S., but worldwide. And anyone, and I mean anyone, trying to diminish him or MAGA is either willfully ignorant or just plain ignorant.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
You had an accident. Now you're hearing aftermarket parts, insurance company preferred, and a lot of other noise that serves to confuse you. Call Clinton Body Shop. We'll keep it simple. We are certified by 19 vehicle makers to assure you get a proper repair. We care about your investment and your safety. Call the shop who only wants one partner in the repair process, and that's you, the owner. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Attention citizens, the call is going out across all of 103.9 WYAB. Each Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m., General Bob's Swap Shop summons all able-bodied listeners to buy, sell, and trade. Sign up by calling the phone line and joining the campaign where your stuff becomes the hero of the hour. No shillings, no coins, no enlistment fees of any kind to peddle your personal items. Report for duty each Tuesday at 9 a.m. right here on 103.9 WYAB. General Bob needs you and your stuff.
Hi, this is Casey Holcomb with Mississippi Hometown Realty. Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to buy or sell. When you're ready, I want you to think of me first. I will help guide you through the entire process without the stress. Check out my website at mshomesforyou.com. That's mshomesforyou.com. This is Casey Holcomb. Still, I'm doing what I love and loving what I do.
MS license number 51833. Telephone number 601-398-1620.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Now is the time to turn over a new leaf and shower yourself with savings at Mazda of Jackson. Mazda of Jackson has rates as low as 0.9% on select models, or spring into savings with up to $3,000 in customer cash with approved credit. Get to Mazda of Jackson today, where certified pre-owned vehicles and hassle-free trade-in options are also available. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Yeah, welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show, right here on 103.9 WYAB. Look, there's work that needs to be done, and we all need to do it. If you're depending on the party or the Republicans or the elected officials to do it, it's not that they don't want to do it, but they need to be shown that they have the support. And I'm just being truthful with you here. The only way we're going to get redistricting in Mississippi is if President Trump calls for it, and specifically calls out Governor Tate Reeves and Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann and Speaker Jason White. And I'm not saying that they don't want to do it, but they need to know that they've got the air cover to do this. And I know that there are good people. Notice I'm not slandering the people who disagree with my position on redistricting in Mississippi. Notice I don't talk trash about them behind their back or in front of public. It could easily turn this 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal into a weapon, but that's not my style. And I think I've proven that to the powers that be. I know that there's real fear that there's going to be retribution, that there's going to cause us to potentially lose a congressional district. We're not. You know, one of my favorite clips from a movie, because we all watch movies, right? Who is this? Fear. Fear attracts the fearful, the strong, the weak, the innocent, the corrupt. Fear. Fear is my ally. Darth Maul, 1998, 1999. They are weaponizing fear against us, man. We got the perfect Hollywood metaphor to show it. Why not use it? So if you're going to sit there and be struck by fear and you're going to be held in action, then please let us put someone in there that will do the job. We are at a precipice. We are at a tipping point. We are on a razor's edge, not just here in Mississippi, but in the United States and the Western world. We'll get to that in a minute, but let me ask you this. Do you know when registration deadline is for the fall or the general election this fall in November? Do you know the registration date? It's October 5th. It's not too early to start asking people, hey, are you registered to vote? See, I just don't want to sit here and be one of these random right-wing commentators, 5,641 Section C, that just gets people mad. I want to give you tools and the solutions. I want to see you take action. Man, nothing would make me happier than to see a bunch of brand new people, young people, old people, middle-aged people. Preferably, I like to see some Gen Xers get in there and mix it up. I sent a video the other day about millennials talking about the different generations and what would happen if it all went down. And I thought this kid was pretty funny, man. He was a millennial, and he goes, yeah, the Gen A's, they're going to be out right away because they're all talk, and there won't be an internet, and they won't know what to do. Gen Z will last all of about a week. The millennials well, we're going to sit here and watch everything. We're not going to get involved. The boomers, they're going to be too old, but we're going to watch Gen X just decide to wake up and wipe everybody out, politically speaking. And we will, because that's how Gen X is. We'll rub some dirt in it, shake it off. I may or may not have ramped my bike onto Billy Carroll's chest back when I was 9 years old, but it's all right. He walked it off. Man, I'm sorry, dude. When's the last time you've asked somebody to vote? When's the last time you've had a real difficult conversation with your son or daughter? I'll tell you what, difficult conversations with Toots McCracken, holy smokes. I had to have some tough conversations with that girl. You still got to have another tough one. Because the father of me wants to let her go out and do her thing. And then I can remember me being a 17 or 18-year-old boy. Even though I was active duty, I was still a boy. And I'm a father. You're a father. How do we navigate that? I did repost that. Get out to vote. I've got one more clip. I don't think I've got time to do it now. Do I want? Well, let's just go long. Look, remember how I told you that with Operation Mockingbird, how it's this overseas thing. I got to fit it in here. I've got to fit it in here. Listen to this. If you do not think that what they're doing inside the U.S. federal government via the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization is not all tied together, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to cause a war right here. This is worse than Lane Kiffin.
So I'll give two examples. So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then they would it would actually really help the planet.
What kind of bull is this? Do we eat enough meat in America? Do you hear that? We don't eat enough beef. What about chickens?
But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So
I like a good steak. I like a good piece of lamb. I like juicy chicken. I like barbecue. I appreciate meat from all different cultures. I love going to the barbecue place there on 55, south of Jackson. This place is the bomb. I don't want to give it up because I've got some pencil neck geek with a red tie on there telling me that I'm eating too much meat. Let me make up my own mind, sir.
So,
and wouldn't you know it, X crashes. But it's all right. Hey, we're going to take our commercial break. When we get back, I'll have it reloaded. This guy ain't getting off the hook. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
WYAB.
Want insider tips on foundation repair, maintenance, and how to protect your biggest investment? Todd Sandridge, owner of Superior Foundation Services, will be dropping in this month for quick interviews with your favorite local hosts. Whether you're dealing with cracks, settling, or just want peace of mind, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Superior Foundation Services.
Turns out that we know a lot about.
Stay on solid ground. Find them online at superior.ms. That's superior.ms.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Looking for farm fresh produce, high quality local beef, dairy, and desserts? Look no further than the Farm Store in Flora. We've got the sweetest, juiciest fruits and vibrant vegetables from Two Dog Farms, plus premium beef, all from right here in the community. Whether you're cooking up a feast or just grabbing a healthy snack, the Farm Store has got you covered. Freshness you can taste, prices you'll love. Find us on Facebook at The Farm Store by Two Dog Farm.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, experience counts. And the Rusty Healy Agency has been serving Madison and the rest of the Jackson Metro for over 35 years. Local agent Landon Thompson is keeping that trusted tradition going strong. As a local independent agent, he's not locked into one provider. The Rusty Healy Agency can shop the top insurance companies to find the best fit for you. And everyone knows that the Rusty Healy Agency and Landon Thompson offer top quality local customer service. Contact Landon today at 601-856-3681.
Hi, folks. Kim Wade here. Mississippi Energy Services provides generators. That's right. You may not need it now, but when you need backup power, you need a backup power generator from Mississippi Energy Services. Never again have to worry about being without heat, air conditioning, or all your frozen items spoiling because your energy was lost. You got backup power now, and it's so reliable. You'll be pleased with Mississippi Energy Services. Online at msenergy.us.
Fraud is everywhere these days. The good news, there are simple steps that you can take to help stay safe. AARP Mississippi is hosting free fraud prevention events to help protect yourself, like free shred events that let you safely dispose of sensitive documents, and free fraud prevention workshops in person and online. Register for a free fraud prevention event at www.aarp.org/ms.
Why should you choose Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating for all service or installation? Well, they purchase all parts directly from the manufacturer. All of their factory-trained technicians have been hand-selected for skill, work ethic, and experience. There are never any hidden fees or charges. Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating is dedicated to your complete satisfaction, and they're family-owned and operated. For residential and commercial service or installation, contact Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating, 601-317-0729, or make an appointment through their Facebook page.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Muse, Uprising, Andrew Gosser Show, 103.9 WYAB. Yeah, Muse was all hard back in 2020 or 2005, talking about uprising. We won't be controlled by the government. Now they're a bunch of left-wing losers. Yeah. Let's finish this off because this is really important. I want you to hear how they're trying to control you and how they're trying to control us, how the media won't portray it, and why won't Republicans do something about it.
You see, I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, but so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So
intolerant to crawfish, dude, just get the hell out of the South. Man, I wouldn't even wish you on LSU in Lane Kiffin. Notice I didn't even spit when I said LSU. Normally I give him the... Listen to this. And all you people who won't go watch Died Suddenly on Rumble, tell me that I'm crazy. I've got the World Health Organization, Dr. Matthew Lau, sitting here telling you what they're going to do to you, and you won't even sit up and listen.
So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
I'm not making it up. Thank God Elon bought X, huh? Although with the Google Chrome update where they just put on all that new spyware, AI spyware, the stuff that we used to pay Norton and whatever else, McAfee, so that we wouldn't get spyware. Now the big data companies are putting it into their browsers. I would kill for a browser back from like 2005 or 2006. I'd kill for Windows 7 again. We have to start waking up and realizing that we are in real serious trouble. And I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just telling you what's coming down the pipe. And if we can't stand up to Dr. Lau and the World Health Organization, if we can't stand up to this crazy Islamist in New York who's telling people that it's time to commit jihad, if we can't go ahead and redistrict the second district of Mississippi into a political district, not a racist district, then what the heck are we doing? Are we just complaining about the gas prices? Are we just complaining about our 401ks? By the way, if your 401k has oil in it, you are rocking and rolling. If you have Tesla in your 401k, you are loving life. They sit there and these people just play both sides of us, and they just pit us against each other, and I'm just tired of it. And again, giving you the tools. Hinds County Women's Republican Club coming up on the 18th. If you text me, I'll get you all the information you need to know. Some people have already said that they're going, which is I'm excited for. Mike's a good guy, and I know he'll do a good job. Andy, you're telling me that the Republican chairman of Mississippi is doing a good job? Yeah. Dude, you know what it's like to herd cats? Do you know what it's like to herd sheep? I do. Sheep and cats are simple. Republicans, those are wily creatures. When's the last time you asked somebody if they were registered to vote? When's the last time you tried to get somebody to vote? When's the last time you've actually gone out and worked on your skills of recruiting, of talking publicly, of speaking? I can't answer those questions for you, but I do know that this isn't going to grow without your help. This isn't going to grow without your help. In the next hour, we're going to talk about Elon. We're going to talk about Muslim DNA. You know, when I was talking about getting people to vote, you thought I was talking about politics. I was talking about evangelizing. We'll be right back.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Top Pentagon officials back on Capitol Hill briefing lawmakers about the growing costs of the war with Iran.
At a House hearing, the Pentagon's chief financial officer provided an update to lawmakers on the growing cost of the war. Jules Hurst previously said it was running upwards of $25.
Now we think it's closer to 29. That's because of updated repair and replacement of equipment costs.
Importantly, Hurst says that estimate does not include the cost of rebuilding bases damaged by Iranian missiles and attack drones. That cost will depend on what the Pentagon determines should be rebuilt. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump departs later today for Beijing for his meetings with China's leader. Secretary Pete Hegseth says he'll also travel to China. Economic pressures, meantime, due to tariffs and the war showing up in the latest inflation data. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
This inflation report shows that prices are going up overall at the fastest pace now in 3 years. That 3.8% inflation rate, a lot of that driven by the spike in gas and energy that we've seen since the start of the Iran war. So that rate, that 3.8% rate, we have not seen inflation been going up at this pace since May of 2023.
The Federal Reserve Bank of New York, meantime, releasing data showing household debt for Americans reached an all-time high of $18.8 trillion. in the first 3 months of this year, driven by higher balances on mortgages and auto loans. 18 passengers from the Dutch cruise ship hit with the hantavirus outbreak remain in quarantine at facilities in Nebraska and Georgia. One person tested positive, another developed symptoms. Officials say the majority are asymptomatic. Passenger Jake Rosemarin says he'll stay in Omaha for the full incubation period.
My plan right now is to stay for the full 42 days. I think that is the best decision that's for me and for my family. And I know that here I'm in the best care possible.
You're listening to ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-979-3535. That's 800-979-3535. 800-979.
Local news on 103.9 WYAB. Brought to you by AARP of Mississippi. Making a difference in communities throughout the state. AARP.org. What the state Supreme Court ruling means. Sunny this afternoon with a high at 82. Tonight, the low is 59, and it's mostly clear. Sunny again Wednesday with a high at 84, and you can expect the same for the rest of the week. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. The order that came down Monday essentially means the state legislature does not have to redraw the state Supreme Court judicial districts to make sure that more black justices are elected. It follows the same principle as the ruling that has allowed congressional districts to be redrawn across the country, and that says that racial gerrymandering is illegal. The state legislature was set to meet in a special session soon to begin the judicial redistricting process. Some speculation was that congressional redistricting might be added to the agenda. You may have heard about the two little girls who were found Sunday night running around without any adults in the Castlewood subdivision in Rankin County. Now deputies there say the parents have been found and were being interviewed Monday and that charges may be coming for them. The children were put with Child Protective Services. Double dipping is the accusation, and Benjamin Coleman of Forest County has pleaded guilty to unemployment fraud, says State Auditor Shad White. He says Coleman was filing the paperwork for unemployment every week and didn't need it. Now he's been ordered to pay back all of that money, nearly $3,000. One of two people killed in a wreck where an SUV ran off the road and flipped in Concordia Parish, Louisiana, Sunday morning about 12:30 has been ID'd as being from Mississippi, say Louisiana State Police. 17-year-old Michelle Beatty of Natchez and 19-year-old Jacob Bonnet of Vidalia both died, and troopers say neither was wearing a seatbelt. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Why don't you mind your own business?
Mind my own business? What's that supposed to mean?
No, I was just thinking about all the news of tax changes, insurance changes, regulations that are being passed down to business owners. I don't have time to keep growing and to keep up with payroll regulations.
I know. It seems like all I do is handle employee-related problems.
You know, I hear People Lease can help.
How can they help?
People Lease can handle our payroll, taxes, employee benefits, and workers' compensation. They even offer an affordable and customizable 401k program and a 24/7 online human resources support center for all my HR needs.
Think of all the time we'll save. I'll be busy growing my business and letting People Lease take care of the rest.
Sounds like a good business plan with People Lease.
Let People Lease mind your business so you can mind your own business. Call now. 601-987-3025. That's 601-987-3025. Or visit freepayrollquotes.com for your free quote.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
And welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show, hour number 2 on 103.9 WYAB. Moving and grooving on this Tuesday morning. And we're streaming on Rumble. And we're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on Facebook. And we're streaming at the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal, largest one in the metro area, largest talk radio station in Mississippi, like, share, and subscribe to the stream. Follow me on X at Andrew Gosser, at Andrew Gosser, ANDREWGASSER. Phone line is open, 601-879-0002. Text line is open as well. Got a spicy one over the break, 601-879-5060. Yep, and no matter what's going on in the world, we're going to talk about it. But the mission is going to remain the same here at the Andrew Gosser Show. It's here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? You are the saints. I planted it, Apollos watered it, but it was God that gave the increase. That's right. And I don't run away from my biblical worldview. I don't run away from my theology. You know, I was watching a debate over last night. It was over 2 hours long. I got it like a 30-minute censored, dissected preview of it, and I watched that, and I was like, man, I want to watch this. And I've heard of this guy before. His name is, I believe it's Andrew Wilson. And this dude, they said that he was a Christian apologist, but I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that. He cusses way too much to be a Christian apologist, but he is good at what he does. And it was making me think. His whole argument is that the Western world should be thankful for its Christian theology versus the Islamic theology. And his whole argument through all of his cussing, how can someone actually cuss and use scripture in the same sentence? I had a hard problem with that, but the argument is right. And so I'm trying to formulate this argument because the argument is good, but the cussing is not. And it makes me wonder, but his argument is that the Christian faith and biblical worldview promotes spirituality, it promotes growth, it promotes innovation, and it because of its values on family and specifically marriage, it has a higher IQ. Whereas if you go to the Islamic nations around the world, it's a lower IQ. Now, he was cussing and calling the cleric, the imam, whatever it was, retarded. And, you know, the imam didn't have anything for it. Didn't have anything for it. So I decided to do an X search real quick of the most lowest IQ countries in the world. And wouldn't you know, they're all predominantly Muslim countries. With the lowest being, you guessed it, Somalia. He brought up all the different diseases that interbreeding does. And he brought it up to this. That Christianity, and I guess to a certain extent Judaism, doesn't allow people to marry their first cousins unless you're in Kentucky and West Virginia. My regards to Kentucky and West Virginia. But we don't look at it like that. Whereas in the Muslim community, it's very common for you to marry your first cousin. In fact, if you don't marry your first cousin, you're a lucky one in Pakistan, as an example. 65% of the marriages in Pakistan are the first cousins or surprisingly closer. Yikes. And what this does is it creates a cascading effect of when you continuously go ahead and have this close marriage bonding practice over centuries. And the facts are here. It's not just that you have a one-time 3-point IQ loss. It cascades over the generations to the point to where Somalia now has the lowest IQ in the entire world at 83.3%. Rwanda, 86.9%. Angola, 87.9%. Gabon, 88.4%. When you look at the strats of all this, and look, I'm just giving you the facts. I'm just putting it out there. In America, our working class is from 90 to 95%, or 90 IQ of 90 to 95. And there's nothing wrong with that. But these people can't even hit that benchmark. And you look at the cultural centers around. Some of the most beautiful places in the world are Muslim countries. United Arab Emirates, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar. But are they really developing their own medicine? Are they developing their own X-ray machines, their own space programs, their own fighter jets? The answer is no. In fact, it's just a shame and it's sad, but the Middle East is nothing more than a dumping ground for weapons contractors, whether they be U.S., Russian, Chinese, French, or otherwise. I don't think England's really too much producing anything by themselves anymore. They're pretty much crippled and fully gone off the deep end anyway. So it's a sad day in the world when you got to put the French above the English. But it's true. It's true. And when I saw this, I'm asking myself, why are we trying to promote a religion that is actually crushing the IQ level? And some of the diseases, go look up some of the diseases that is found primarily in Muslim countries, specifically Pakistan and Somalia. It is heartbreaking to see the genetic defects of this practice. And the argument was that marrying first cousins or closer is not good. And it's why the Muslim faith can only spread by going and reaching on to new countries. And it is only through the benevolence of the Western world that Islam can grow, because they don't have the ability to produce their own stuff. And I thought about that. I really did. I've spent not the better part of my life. I'm over the hill now, but I spent the better part of my younger life overseas in places off the coast of Africa, in the Persian Gulf, in Afghanistan. And I think, what did they create with their bare hands? Like in Mississippi, people say we're stupid in Mississippi. Mississippi has great universities. We are excellent agricultural. We're excellent in agriculture. We're excellent in production. Look at the Nissan plant. We have all sorts of stuff that we can do here in Mississippi that we should be proud of. And everybody's like, "Well, agriculture isn't that difficult." I'm telling you, we are the backbone of the United States when it comes to our timber production, our pine forest pi production, our ability to produce soybeans. The Delta is some of the most fertile ground. And it takes not only knowledge and intelligence to farm, but it also takes wisdom. And some of these old-time farmers who don't sit there and use the GPS, but they know exactly where to go. They know exactly how to farm their farm. They know how to get the best results. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what does Somalia produce? Pirates, fraudulent congresswomen, hate. What does Iran produce? Foreign terrorist organizations, oil, which they don't really produce. They're just fortunate that they got a big oil reserve underneath their country. And fear in the Persian Gulf. You know, every country in the Persian Gulf fears Iran. Because not only do they have the weapons, but they've proven themselves, not just in this recent conflict, but in the Iran-Iraq war, they're not afraid to use it. They're not afraid to use chemical weapons, and if they had a nuke, they would have used it. I just found that argument really interesting, and like I said, I'm trying to clean it up to where I can actually play it over the radio without all the cursing in it. And there's a thing called Debate University that Andrew Wilson hosts. You've seen him on whatever podcast. He always goes up against the OnlyFans girls and just destroys their lifestyle, which he's correct on. OnlyFans destroys women. It's a wrecker of families. It's a wrecker of Western culture. You can always count on the Western culture to produce all the crap it doesn't need, but in the end, it'll produce what it does need as well. We're producing AI now. That was like one of the big things that the Muslim cleric argued. And if he's not a cleric, if he's a sheikh or whatever, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to that. I'm not mocking that at all. But he said that the Islamic world could use AI. To which Andrew Wilson responded, yeah, but you didn't make the AI. You don't know how to do it. Oh, well, you can get the cell phone. Well, you better go get the cell phone. So you're telling me that if we cut off the Islamic world to Muslim world to the AI, that they're going to be able to operate like they're operating right now? Absolutely not. It's the West that did that. I mean, whether you like Zuckerberg or not, when he took MySpace up to the next level with Facebook, that changed the world. It changed the world, and how we communicate, how we talk to each other, how we interact with our family, with our friends. Some would say it's much for the worse. I would agree. While I love X, I love getting the stories, but I don't like getting into the comments because it's a cesspool. Back in the day, we would say E-peen. Who's got the best one-liner? Who's got the best zinger? When we get back, we're going to talk about a move that will grow Western civilization and AI bigger and faster than the Islamic Muslim world. But if we're just being truthful, ladies and gentlemen, let's be truthful. The Islamic world is full of money, and everybody wants it. And if you think about it, President Trump went over to the Middle East, and what did he do? He went to Qatar, sold them a brand new bunch of F-15 QAs. Went to Saudi Arabia, sold them a bunch of F-15 SAs. QA stands for Qatar, variant of F-15. SA stands for Saudi Arabia, variant of F-15. Sold them all the missiles, the maintenance package, the deluxe. But they can't build that. They can maintain the infrastructure. But heck, if I wasn't feeling so poor, I could go over there, work for a year for $250,000 maintaining F-15s and call it good. And I haven't even been a maintainer since 1999. I was an operator, but I can't really pilot a F-15, so There you go. But when we get back, we're going to talk about the move, the business move, and the business acumen of this American patriot that has completely flipped everything on its head. It's awesome. It's beautiful. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show. This is 103.9 WYAB, and we will be right back.
WYAB. You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available, or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson or at DaviniEquipment.com. Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available, or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson or at DaviniEquipment.com.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
How do you get the hell out of your life?
Get on your knees and cry out to the Lord. He hears you right where you are.
Oh, gosh. Jesus.
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 How do you get the hell out of your life?
He will love that hell out of you.
You trust in him, and you let him love the hell right out of you.
So how do you get the hell out of your life? Listen Saturday mornings at 7 and 7:30 on 103.9 WYAB or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
As Christians, it's our calling to be faithful to Christ and obedient to the Great Commission. Our heart's desire and prayer to God is that through our efforts, many would receive and rest upon Christ alone as he is offered to them in the gospel. I'm David Strain, Senior Minister at First Presbyterian Church of Jackson, inviting you and your family to join us as we strive to fulfill that mission. We're located on North State Street in Jackson. Times of our services can be found at fpcjackson.org. You can also hear the good news about Jesus Christ each Sunday morning at 9:30 on 103.9 WYAB.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. Think about this. And this is something, this is just going to prove that it only works when you have a benevolent side to your theology, to your belief system. Imagine you build a widget faster than anybody's ever built it before. And you like the widget, it's awesome. But after 22 days or after 92 days, it's already outdated. And you know what you got to do to build a better one. So you start building it. But what you do is you lease out your first widget to your arch competitor because they're your closest competitor, but they ain't got your smoke. And you know how to actually do it. So what you do is you lease out your first widget at a price to help fund the building of the second widget, which is completely going to smoke them. That's so brilliant. And that's exactly what Elon Musk is doing. I'm going to read this right here. New compute partnership with Anthropic. SpaceX AI has just signed an agreement with Anthropic to provide access to Colossus One, one of the world's largest and fastest deployed AI supercomputers. Yes, that's right. The Colossus number 1 that they're building, or they built in Memphis, is already outdated, and they're building it a new one, Colossus number 2. Built from the ground up in record time, Colossus delivers unprecedented scale for AI training, turning, inference, and high-end performance computing workloads. Colossus One features over 222,000 NVIDIA GPUs, including dense deployments of H100 and 200 and next-generation GB200 accelerators. I have no idea what that means, but it really doesn't matter. How quick do you think they built Colossus One? Does anybody remember? Remember how people were complaining about the building going up so quick? And all of a sudden, 122 days later, it's fully operational. Colossus One. This is the brilliance of Elon Musk. Whether he's doing X, Grok, SpaceX, Tesla, everybody says, "Oh, it's going to take you 20 years to do this," and he just sits there and rolls his eyes at you. I'll tell you what, that when he gives you that look, ooh, 122 days to build one of the world's fastest super AI computers, and it's already outdated. Oh, I know. I have to go build a new one. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go delete my old, or go donate my old one, or rent my old one out to my chief competitor, Anthropic. By the way, remember when ChatGPT was going to go partner with Sora and Disney? He signed the $1 billion deal and then pulled out. Remember that? That's because of Colossus One. And Elon already says he's got a better design and go faster. And now Anthropic is going to fund it while ChatGPT grows. And Grok is moving quicker. And this is what the race is for. The race is for AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. It's about a human level for beyond problem solving, reasoning, and adaptability across tasks. Like, it's amazing right now. I love AI because I can sit there and I can research it, but I can say, build me a spreadsheet with every county in the 2nd Congressional District of Mississippi by population and voting strength and voters and just I can fill in with all the different fields that I want. And guess what? Up to 30 seconds later, if it's really having a heavy workload, maybe a minute later, I've got a beautiful Excel spreadsheet in CSV format, which I prefer. And then I just drop that into Excel, do a couple quick manipulations, build up the font the way I want it, color, highlight, do what I want. And now what used to have precious prized information, political information inside the Democrat and Republican Party, is now out there for general use. Now it'll show voting patterns, and it won't have the personal knowledge that longtime politicos have, which is key and important. But the data is so precious that you can bring a lot of people up to speed a lot quicker. And that's what politics is all about. At least it's how it was about when I was in it. What do you know, and how can you grow your own fiefdom? Or is it fiefdom? I think it's fiefdom. How can I build my own castle and keep control of it and hold on to power? Like Nancy Pelosi, like Turtle McConnell, like Jim Thune, like Chuck Schumer, not Thumer, Schumer, although it's one and the same. I want to know, this is a sidebar. I know we're talking about Elon building Colossus 2, And by the way, Colossus 2 will be outdated within 6 months of it being built, and I think they're building it in Memphis as well. So, lots of construction jobs, lots of energy jobs, maintaining jobs, but even Colossus 2, they might go to Colossus 3, but then once Elon starts the space-based supercomputer AI clusters, that's when we know we're toasted. Because AI will be able to operate outside of Earth's power grid. I mean, if worst thing comes to worst, right, and AI is just completely going south, we can have the doomsday switch where we just EMP the entire Earth, no electronic signals for up to 50, 60 years. We go back to living in the Old West in the 1800s. There'll be a die-off, but we'll be able to beat the AI. But when you start putting AI onto these satellites, the size of Starship, which is gonna blast off maybe this week, probably next week, if not this week, and they can start putting up 2 of these a day. Think about it, 2 a day, where they don't have to worry about cooling and water. They don't have to worry about energy production because it's all solar. And by the way, do you remember the company that Elon made, one of his first companies that everybody said was a complete waste of time and a failure? Solar City, which then was bought up by Tesla. Where do you think Elon got all that solar energy technology from? Solar City. He built it himself because he couldn't find a good business model in the West, let alone the United States, to do what he wanted to do. God, I hope Elon has a good security team. My goodness, he's just Operation Truly Warp Speed. I know that's bad in some conservative circles. But he is moving space exploration, space travel. He's moving AI. He's moving social media with X. He's pushing all these boundaries simultaneously. Oh, and that doesn't even include his Neuralink company. I haven't even talked about Neuralink. Do you know that they're talking about having eye replacements for people who are born blind as long as they have an optical nerve? The eye that failed, doesn't develop properly, can't see. They can pop that out and put in a new eye. He says he's going to have that technology. And not only is it going to have vision back to people who were blind, but it's going to be able to give them thermal dynamics. Think about this. You're going to have vision like a FA-18 Super Hornet sniper pod. It's incredible. And we can't even think about that. Yeah, it's cyborg, and that's crazy. But that's where it's going. Some people say that it's the Antichrist and whatever. My view on that is pretty simple as well, though I'm not gonna go down that road today. Yep. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
AIPAC and Israel are not the same as Judaism and the Jewish people. I love Judaism and I love the Jewish people. I venerate Judaism and I venerate the Jewish people. I stand with Judaism and I stand.
Wow.
Because we love people. You cannot claim that you want to invest in our kids when you send our money abroad to kill other people's kids. You cannot claim it. I call bullshit. No. I call bullshit. Yeah. We're back. It's the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. This just came across my feed, and I'm not even going to get into it because, this is the serpent in the Garden of Eden. You are watching the devil work in real time. This is Dr. Abdul El Said. 3, 2, 1, go. AIPAC and Israel are not the same as Judaism and the Jewish people. I love Judaism and I love the Jewish people. I venerate Judaism and I venerate the Jewish people. I stand with Judaism and I stand with the Jewish people. And the single most dangerous thing that they've tried to tell us is that somehow they can extend the definition of anti-Semitism to include a foreign government and its leaders. I call...
Got to censor that out. I call BS. Let's continue this along here. This is Dr. Abdul El Said. Sounds pretty good. AIPAC.
If you believe that anti-Semitism extends to include a foreign government and AIPAC, you are creating a dangerous circumstance. So it is important for us to recognize that we love Judaism and the Jewish people because we love people. And we love Palestinians and their rights because we love people. And we love that our tax dollars get spent here, on schools here, and healthcare here, because we love people.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the next U.S. Senator from the state of Michigan, Dr. Abdul El Said. Don't say it's not going to happen. You heard it here first. You know what? There are a lot of black-pilled Republicans who will vote for that because they hate AIPAC more than they hate the enemy that's going in and flipping our country upside down. Look at Dearborn, Michigan. Look at New York. Look at Minneapolis. Look at all these places where they've taken over. Look around the world. Look at the metropolises, the Meccas, the Medinas. If this guy went to Medina, not Mecca, but Medina, because remember, Mecca was where the Prophet Muhammad was very peaceful. And when he went to Medina, that's when he picked up his sword and started whacking people. So if he can go to Medina, if he can go to the square in Tehran and say this exact same thing where he loves Jewish people, and see how long he lasts. God, people, what's wrong with America? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Why don't we have discernment? By the way, just to throw more fuel on this fire, guess who bought another squadron of F-35 fighters and F-15 fighters? Full squadron, 24 jets each, with all ground support equipment and kit to build out a base. I'll give you the designator of the F-35 and you tell me. F-35I Adir. That's right. Israel has just bought another squadron of F-35s. And hey, good on it. Glad to see that they bought it. Where'd they get the money from? They just brought another whole squadron of F-15Is. And by the way, I know what the hell I'm talking about with these different variants of the F-15, the F-16, the F-14 that they're trying to bring back. I know it. This is my wheelhouse. I do not know how the F-15s that the Israelis bought all those years ago are going to mesh with the new F-15Is that they're buying now. Completely different weapon system, completely different beeps and squeaks. I know that Israel pulls a lot of their stuff out of those planes and then puts their own stuff in. I get that. But the motors are completely different. The motors that they're putting in the new F-15EX, which is what essentially the F-15I is going to be, minus 1 or 2 boxes. The engines are completely different. They produce more power. They produce more heat. They're complete. It's a completely different beast. To the air show layman out there, and I'm not dissing you because not many people get paid to understand the differences between certain variants of fighter aircraft. But you look at it and it looks exactly the same, but there's so many differences. It's like a F-15EX is not the same as a F-15SA that isn't the same as a F-15QA. There's all sorts of differences. F-16s, different blocks. So Israel goes and buys all this money. Meanwhile, you have Islam roaring across the United States of America. Well, so let's just wrap this up in a nice bow for today's show. But in order to wrap up today's show, we've got to go back to the second hour of the Clay Edwards show, where Clay Edwards and Daryl Arnold were talking about how the CIA ended rock and roll. Ended rock and roll. I can remember going to an Iron Maiden Megadeth concert at the Rosemont Horizon in Illinois back in 1989. And they forgot to play Anarchy in the UK. And Dave Mustaine is saying, turn off the flipping lights. Turn off the flipping lights. Forget it. We'll play with the lights on. Right now. And if you know what the first couple lines of that song are, you've got 18,900 people screaming, I am an Antichrist. Dave Mustaine, by the way, has been saved. He's a practicing Christian. Great guy. But that was what Megadeth was known for. Peace sells, but who's buying? So far, so good, so what? I know my rock and roll. I know my Metallica. They had to get to rock and roll to destabilize the church. Because us Gen Xers, we grew up in church. Clay Edwards tell you grew up in church. He was talking about Brother Buddy this morning. We're praying for you, Brother Buddy. We're praying for you, Brother Willie. We're praying for you, Brother Charles. Brother Charles is a churchgoer of ours over at Life Church, and he's in a burn unit in North Carolina right now, getting his second skin graft this Friday. Pray him up. But they had to build rock and roll to take down Christianity because us Gen Xers, we grew up knowing a lot more about the faith than our Gen Alpha kids do today. Our Gen Alphas can't even roll out of bed without grabbing their cell phone and figuring out what they're going to do or how to navigate to the restroom to take it and relieve themselves. This is a whole long plan. And now you're going to see more Abdul El Saids. You're going to see more Omar, whatever her name is. You're going to see more candidates like this. You might even see it here in Mississippi. And they're not different. Oh, Andy, now you're just talking smack. No, I'm not. Who would have thought that New York would have turned into a complete hellhole like it is now, where the trash doesn't get picked up? There's new videos of them protesting, not in the boroughs, but in the rich neighborhoods where all the rich white liberals live, and they're not knowing what to do with these trans kids. Man, this show just went by too fast today. It went by too fast. I didn't even get to talk about Virginia and how their terrible attorney general sent letters or sent a case to the Supreme Court with spelling errors and then sent it to the wrong place. This is the same guy who had allegations against him, and he still won. And now this is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. I'm going to play this without listening to it, but this is from WJLA News.
Hey everyone, Nick Minock here with 7 News. I want to tell you about a story we just broke on WJLA.com. I learned that a student at Freedom High School in Loudoun County is accused of photographing and videotaping other students underneath the bathroom stalls in school. The principal sent at least 2 emails to the school community about this. And my sources tell me there are more than 40 victims, and this has been going on for more than 3 years. This is a developing story. A lot more is going to come out on this. We'll have all the updates on WJLA.com.
Well, not a thing's going to happen to him because the attorney general is worthless. 3 years of accusations and evidence, and nothing's happened to that school board. Nothing's happened to that superintendent. Nothing's happened to that principal. What makes you think they're going to do anything here in Mississippi? That this is where the home of transgenderism is, by the way. That's a transgender boy going into a girl's bathroom and doing upskirt shots. Everybody says, Andy, your biblical worldview is just not compatible with today. I know it's not. And I know that I'm fighting a uphill battle with many of you. Andy, I would never do that. Well, I know you wouldn't do it. You were raised with different values than the kids are today. Who in the hell lets their kid do something like that? Who makes them think that they can do that and that it is okay socially? That it's acceptable? I'll tell you what makes it acceptable: when you have this progressive atheist worldview and not a Christian Western worldview. Because even in the Western world, Hitler thought he was right when he was gassing 6 million Jews. This world has just lost its head. And I mean, that literally just popped up on my screen. That's how awesome the Andrew Gosser Show is. I'm so grateful and thankful to each and every one of you who listens every day, who sends me texts, who calls into the show during the break like Willie does. Appreciate it so much. We're going to take our last commercial break of the hour. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. We'll be right back.
Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs priced to fit your budget. Stop by Pop's Auto Sales today, where fair prices and superior service leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Or go to popsautosales.llc.com and browse our inventory and get pre-approved for zero-down financing with approved credit, with service contracts and warranties available. And guys, our truck inventory is one of the largest for any independent dealer, period. Pop's Auto Sales, Highway 49 in Florence.
Ladies, tired of running on empty, sleepless nights, mood swings, stubborn weight, skin that has lost its glow? It is not just getting older. It is your body begging for help. Hey, y'all, I'm Morgan at Women's Wellness in Mississippi. At Women's Wellness in Mississippi, we bring it all together. Hormone therapy, medical weight loss, and the latest, greatest aesthetic treatments like facials, lasers, Botox, and so much more. This is where wellness and beauty meet so that you can feel amazing inside and out. At Women's Wellness in Mississippi, the best version of you is waiting right around the corner.
This is Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints.
As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
From a cabin on a creek to a field where the big bucks sneak. Oh, yeah! Tom Smith Land and Homes.
Everybody who's listening online, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope I gave you a good show. The show prep was real, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening.
Smith Land and Homes, yeah, the landman's who you need. Brought to you by Tom and Ellen Smith. Tom Smith Land and Homes, that's it.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
When pain or injury slows you down, relief is closer than you think. At Hometown Medical, we now carry professional-grade orthopedic gel wraps. Our wraps give you 360 degrees hot or cold compression therapy. We also carry Actimove braces made with CoolMax Air technology. From light slide-on supports to hinge wraparound knee braces, we've got brace options for ankles, knees, backs, shoulders, and wrists. Hometown Medical has you covered with our gel wraps and braces. Discover the relief you deserve.
The only thing hotter than Mississippi in the summer is a Mississippi summer when the power goes out. This summer, be ready. Call Calvin Electric. They can install a permanent standby generator that automatically kicks on the second the power fails and keeps your whole house running. Hey, you already got a portable generator? Call Calvin Electric and let them set it up so you can safely plug it into your breaker box and power just the essentials. Don't wait for the next outage. Call Calvin Electric today or visit CalvinElectric.com and stay powered up when the grid goes down. CalvinElectric.com.
And we are back here on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Texters texting in over the break saying, where was that transgender kid taking those pictures of the kids in the bathrooms? That was Loudoun County, Virginia. And that tied into the Virginia DA who can't file a Supreme Court brief the right way, who's trying to overturn the Supreme Court ruling. It's just absolutely insane. Just these liberal hellholes that are giving us views other than the Christian worldview are destroying America's fabric, and we're going to lose it. I mean, I've got probably over 50 videos that I can play on the air of women who are losing it, who are hitting the wall at 35 and saying, yes, they're successful business life and they did all the things they want to do. They had all the fun they wanted to have, but they want kids. But no man will get with them. Well, when you got a body count over 1,000, you know, that's going to be a problem. No man wants to do that. I'm just telling you. Well, maybe some men, but they're not going to want to spend their life with you. That's for sure. Could you imagine the 20-year reunion when your 18-year-old goes, hey, mom, is this you? Or she's getting railed on OnlyFans. Who wants that? I mean, these are the type of discussions you got to have with your daughters, dads, and moms. I mean, it's a shame that we have to have these discussions, but that it's just where we're at. And if you think that your princess is too good that she wouldn't do that, you were 17 once too, mom. You were 18 once too, dad. I mean, I can only imagine what the millennials and Gen Zers had, but we were Gen X and we were pretty rowdy. Let's just be truthful about it. Again, we're not being holier than thou. We're admitting our faults and shortcomings and disclosures. It just seems like in our society today, we're too worried about microaggressions. And we can't call out the dudes wearing the dresses. I did get a text about The Rock wearing a dress. He says that was some form of his natural Samoan kind of garb that was tailored. He had pants underneath it, and so I'm not sure about that. I don't know how I feel about The Rock wearing that. Everybody wants to do that, but dudes wearing floral dresses, no, not so much. Let's get that out of the way right now. Guys, I have a lot more stuff to talk about, but I want to give the last little bit of shout out to Brother Buddy. We're going to continue to keep him lifted up in prayer. We have to. Listeners are the lifeblood of WYAB 1039. And we are grateful and thankful to them all. And so many of you do so many great things that'll never get talked about on the radio, right? How many of you are at work and you do the most bang up job and you just get told you did a good job? You never get the accolades, you never get the plaudits, but you show up, you punch in, you're on time, you don't give any grief, you don't do any of that craziness, and you'll never get the accolades. You'll never get the recognition. But people do see the work that you do, and you are appreciated. Just like Brother Buddy, just like Brother Willie, just like Brother Charles. I'm telling you what, we are in just such a wild and crazy place, ladies and gentlemen, in our society. We have the power at the tips of our fingertips. We have all the power right there. Power to solve all sorts of problems. Go look up all sorts of data. Or you can go look up all sorts of OnlyFans. It breaks my heart to see where this generation is getting led to, the late Gen Zers and Gen Alpha kids. We all have a say in it, though. Hey, don't forget, on the 18th, we've got a Hinds County Republican Ladies meeting. And the 20th is the Up in Smoke meeting, protest in Jackson. Until then, take care, everybody. Be blessed. Yes, and amen. Amen.